Service to animals is service to humanity. That is not just a phrase I wrote in my book. It is the philosophy that has guided my professional life for the last 30 years. My name is Dr. Ali Sudi Tsanuo. I'm a veterinary surgeon with over 30 years of experience across Kenya and Uganda. And today I want to share my professional journey with you. This is a story of passion, resilience, unexpected turns, and the profound bond between humans and animals. It is a story that I have captured in my book, My Professional Journey. Whether you are a veterinarian, a student, an animal lover, or someone who believes in the power of never giving up, this video is for you. My story begins in the mid-1960s. I was born and raised between the two places, Athi River in Machakos County and Matuga in Kwale County. My early education unfolded across these two homes, a pattern that would later define my professional journey. Growing up in Athi River was exciting. Every morning, we walked about 7 kilometers from the Kenya Meat Commission staff quarters to Makadara Shopping Center, where our primary school stood. Learning was simple, full of events and full of wonderful friends. But life took a dramatic turn in the year 1978. The Kenya Meat Commission factory faced major difficulties, and my late father was among those who lost their jobs. We packed our belongings and left Athi River, leaving behind everything I had known for the last 15 years. Starting life in Matuga was a different kind of challenge. The change in weather, the unfamiliar Swahili and Mijikenda culture, the daily hustle of learning and realigning to the new realities. It was exhausting for a teenager. My health suffered. I experienced recurrent fevers and fatigue. I stayed out of school for over a year and had to repeat classes. But through it all, my family support system remained strong. Our extended family, uncles, aunts, and cousins were remarkably helpful. They financed my education through our family farm produce enterprise. I spent my childhood herding cows in the evening after school and playing with other teenage children my age. Now here is something interesting. During my sixth form year in the late 1980s, the thought of becoming a veterinarian had never once crossed my mind. My ambitions were firmly set on medicine or dental surgery, respectable, prestigious paths that consumed my focus. But destiny, as it often does, had other plans. One ordinary afternoon in 1986, while buried in my books at the Matuga School of Government library, a scene outside the window pulled my attention from the pages. Through the glass, I spotted a man standing with a cow. But this was not ordinary examination. His arm was plunged deep inside the animal from behind, his face calm and focused, as if this were the most natural thing in the world. My curiosity ignited. I abandoned my studies, walked outside, and introduced myself. And as they say, the rest is history. My university journey began in 1987, after my sixth form. I had been accepted to pursue bachelor's degree in veterinary medicine at the University of Nairobi. But before I could step into campus, there was a mandatory rite of passage, 3 months of training at the National Youth Service in Gilgil. The NYS was designed to instill discipline, loyalty, and unwavering commitment. Many freshers struggled to adapt. Some dropped out for fabricating medical reasons to escape the relentless demands. We marched through endless parade drills, trekked through forest from dawn till dusk, and pounded the tarmac in early morning marathons. The most infamous punishment was served for those who missed a step during drills. An escort would send you running all the way to touch the peak of a mountain called Mount Kioko. To this day, whenever I drive past Gilgil, I glance at that distant summit and smile. Those memories, as punishing as they were, live on with me until today. Then came the university years. From the moment registration and orientation were completed, the real deal began. Lectures were a marathon, while students from other faculties launched about with endless free time. We were buried in back-to-back sessions that stretched through the week and occasionally bled into weekends. In those early days, I resided at the main campus hostels, trekking to Chiromo every morning for lectures. Meals were taken at the Central Catering Unit, affectionately called CCU. It was packed, yet organization ran like clockwork. And here is something you might find hard to believe. On several occasions, the president himself, the late His Excellency Daniel Arap Moi, would pass by to lunch with us, or sometimes come for supper. He would walk in, join the line like everyone else, and sit among the students. That gesture, whether calculated or genuine, made being a university in the 80s and 90s feel very special. From my second to fourth years, I moved to Kabete campus, the heart of veterinary clinical medicine. It was there that I encountered the one thing every veterinary student dreaded most, the oral examinations. They assessed you not merely on textbook knowledge, but on your ability to demonstrate practical problem solving. Though they contributed only 10% to each subject's final grade, the fear they inspired was immense. I was allocated to the magnificent Mandela Hostel, the crown jewel of Kabete campus. It was a modern self-contained complex with private rooms, a kitchen, and recreation halls. We relished the short quiz at the dining hall, the lazy afternoons sunbathing in the front flower garden, and our evening marathons, running all the way to Kangemi and back. These were golden days, not just to me, but to, I believe, to all my colleagues who experienced this moment. On the 10th of December 1994, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in veterinary medicine. The journey through veterinary school remains one of the most unforgettable experiences of my life. Tears and joys were constant. The urge to give up was at times overwhelming, but moving forward was the only option, and forward I went. I launched my career as a veterinary surgeon in January 1994, fresh from the University of Nairobi before official graduation. My first professional post was at the Faznik Veterinary Clinic in Shanzu, owned by a towering figure in coastal veterinary practice, Dr. Ajmal Fazil. Stepping into that role was no simple task. Acceptance from clients was slow and tinged with reservation. I vividly recall one morning when a lady client arrived asking for the previous veterinarian. When she was introduced to me as his replacement, her reaction was one of surprise. "You," her expression seemed to say. Yet in a satisfying turn of events, that very same lady became years later one of my most ardent supporters and trusted clients. The 4 years that followed were thrilling, demanding, and professionally enriching. Just before graduation, one of our lecturers would often remind us that a veterinary medicine degree was merely a license to learn. The true meaning of those words came alive in my early years of practice. My caseload surged daily. To count the nights I spent racing against dawn would be impossible. Whether performing an emergency cesarean section on a dystocia-ridden beach, assisting a difficult calving in the fields, or managing a bovine uterine prolapse under the African sun. Nearly 70% of my professional duties were performed ambulatory. This means out in the field, far from the clinic walls. Every day was a lesson, every call an adventure, and every case an reaffirmation that my degree was indeed just the beginning. By late 1996, my reputation had grown, and I began to think seriously about my future. Which way should I turn my professional sails? Many of my long-term clients believed I was ready to establish my own practice, and they encouraged me with unwavering support. In mid-1997, I took my first bold step, opening an office in Twapa Township. It was an exhilarating move. I hired an animal assistant and set up an agrovet with a dedicated consultation room. For the next 6 months, I maintained a demanding rhythm. Each morning, I attended to clients at my Mtwapa office before heading to Faznik. Surgeries were mostly performed at Faznik, while consultations and medical treatments took place at my own practice. By January 1998, I ventured fully into private practice, registering my new business under the name North Coast Veterinary Clinic. But the journey was not without its challenges. In 1997, just as my practice was gaining momentum, ethnic tensions erupted along the Kenyan coast ahead of the general elections. The economic fallout was severe. Dairy farms were crippled, tourism collapsed, hotel occupants dwindled, businesses foundered, and workers were laid off. My practice suffered enormously. My daily workload evaporated by more than half. My newly acquired mobile phone lay mostly silent in my pocket, a haunting and unusual stillness. By the time camp returned, I faced a starkly different reality. My large animal practice had substantially been subsided. In its place, I began seeing more dogs than ever. It was an anticipated turning point, a forced pivot in my professional life. There was no choice but to adapt quickly, absorb the hard lessons, and soldier on. Then came the 2007-2008 post-election violence. Nothing in my strategic planning had prepared me for such a time. In early 2007, my gross income stood approximately at 1.2 million Kenya shillings. Over the next 3 to 5 years, that figure would plummet to a mere 300,000 per month. My clientele had always been a blend, large animal owners from our country and small animal keepers, who were largely foreigners. During and after the violence, the upcountry locals retreated to their rural homes, while the tourism sector came to a halt. Most foreigners who owned pets packed their bags and returned to their home countries. The consequences were immediate and brutal. My duty calls dwindled to near silence. My phone lay quiet. The clinic compound, once bustling, stood deserted. Any venture into remote farms required a police escort. Yet despite the sudden collapse of income, I kept my entire staff. I ensured my workers were paid and my office remained functional, clinging to the hope of better days. But the better days did not come. From 2009 to 2014, the trend remained stubbornly unchanged. Those who had fled stayed away. My practice limped on with a skeletal workload. Rental areas loomed. I stood at a crossroads, faced with a defining moment that would force me to make swift, hard calculations, not just for the survival of my clinic, but for my own survival. The breakthrough came in the form of a job fishing line cast through a veterinary forum, an email platform started by a former classmate. A group in Nairobi was looking for a veterinarian. I submitted my application. In August 2014, I received a surprise call inviting me for interviews. The firm summoning me was Kakira Sugar Limited, based in Jinja, Uganda. I had never boarded a plane in my life. I had never traveled outside Kenya. But I went for the interview, and as they say, the rest is history. The breakthrough in my most unfortunate situation came. My new professional journey took off just like that. I arrived in Kakira in January 2015. My official title was Company Doctor, Veterinary. My contract specified a tripartite mandate. First, to ensure the duty soundness of the canine security dogs. Second, to offer consultant services to the Kakira Sugar Limited dairy farm. And third, to administratively head the canine section and run the Kakira Sugar Veterinary Clinic. The canine section alone comprised approximately 30 to 32 staff members. 2 veterinary doctors, a kennel master, assistant dog trainers, trained dog handlers, and kennel attendants. This was the team I would administer throughout my stay at Kakira Sugar Limited. My first task was to unravel the administrative structure. Within 2 years, we had made significant improvements. We purchased a full set of laboratory equipment, a biochemistry machine, a snap test analyzer, and an automated CBC machine. We introduced vaccination booklets, signage, and uniform for all canine staff. But the role that truly defined my tenure was the Kabiaza Dairy Unit. Throughout my time there, we implemented evidence-based reforms, introducing silage feeding, realigning concentrate rations, initiating selective breeding via artificial insemination, and beginning a rigorous culling process for all non-performing cows. These changes initially led to a decline in milk production. However, over the medium term, the average daily herd output surged. The dairy farm became the hardest hurdle of my professional life at Kakira Sugar Limited. Yet simultaneously one of the most enriching arenas, furnishing me with invaluable management lessons that continue to guide my practice. Over 3 decades of practice, I've learned many lessons. Let me share a few with you. First, service to animals is actually indeed service to humanity. That is the core of what we do. Second, the veterinary degree is merely a license to learn. The real learning happens every day in practice. Third, resilience is not a trait you are born with. It is a muscle you build through practice. Fourth, partnerships require clear agreements and shared values. Without this, they can fall apart. Fifth, professional networks are a lifeline. Never underestimate their value. Sixth, invest in diagnostics. Evidence-based practice transforms guesswork into precision. Seventh, your mental health is your most important survival strategy. Master the art of living work at work. Eighth, diversify your income and build reserves. Prepare for the unexpected. Ninth, know when to let go. Sometimes it's not failure, it is strategy. And 10th, trust your passion. That gut feeling you have, it is not incompetence. It is passion. Trust it. These lessons and many more are captured in my book, My Professional Journey. This book is more than a chronicle of cases and cures. It is an intimate exploration of the profound connection between humans and animals and the land we share. It is a story of dedication, resilience, and the enduring passion that fuels a life in veterinary medicine. It is my hope that this journey, shared from the heart, will resonate with fellow professionals, aspiring veterinarians, animal lovers, and anyone who believes in the power of compassion and perseverance. Lastly, I close this video. I want to leave you with this. Life is beautiful, but it comes with no guarantee of land. Even so, it remains a worthwhile gift for the time we are given. The greatest enemy we face is not death itself, it is suffering. The most profound gift we can offer is a dignified, peaceful ending to a loyal, suffering pet. I'm Dr. Ali Sudi Tsanuo. This has been My Professional Journey. Thank you for watching and have a good day.